Everybody being here. Just to recap the weekend, really a tough physical game over in Logan with Utah State. Had a lot of guys play hard, and both sides got some guys nicked up in that game. Disappointed with the outcome. I know we have a very good football team. We're capable of playing better than we played Saturday night. We did not play with any rhythm on offense. And that's I kind of it kind of goes back to playing with some young kids that have had some success, and every game isn't going to be exactly the same, and so we have to do a better job of adjusting and playing through different opponents. Defensively, we played well in spurts, but we gave up too many big plays. I think that was the biggest thing that we are majorly concerned of, is the big plays that we're giving up. And sometimes kids start cheating their technique a little bit. We made some big plays and turnovers earlier in that game, and we needed to continue to play the same techniques, and we kind of got away from it later in the game. I'm very proud of our special teams. Our special teams really were excellent on Saturday. The punt return by Torrey and that unit was really, really positive. And Patty Turner's playing really well right now. He's really a weapon. I don't think people really even understand when they watch us play that when he kicks the ball all over the field, we're trying to do that. And he did an excellent job of kicking the ball away from their return man and gaining yardage, and he's becoming a real weapon as a punter. So, we're almost halfway through the season. This is game 6. We've done a lot of things well. We've done some things not so well that we have to improve on, and we have to kind of rally around those things as we go down the stretch here in the conference. Coming back home to Canvas this week, playing Boise, really looking forward to that opportunity. They're about a 500 team right now. They played a very good schedule. They played some really tough opponents early on here. They've been tested. Really good balanced offense. Really good running back in Gentry. They got a couple quarterbacks that are playing for them that are both very capable. We have to do a good job against them. And they got a big receiver in Eric McAllister, who's a really talented player. So we got to do a good job containing them offensively. Defensively, we're familiar with them, played them several times. They got Dimitri Washington coming back, really good player, solid linebacker. At number 53 is a very good player. And we've got to do a good job protecting our quarterback. We've got to do a better job of spreading the football around in this game and getting our playmakers involved. And it's always important that you run the ball effectively against Boise when you play them. So special teams got to continue to be a factor. But this is an important conference game for us. And, I kind of talk to our team. We're kind of like a club fighter. We fight every Saturday night, and there's nothing particularly special about us right now, but we got to find a way to win. And if we can find a way to win, we can start putting ourselves in position to play some more meaningful games. So, we're about the halfway point of the season. As a football team, we've got to really shore up some things and detail out our game so we can get the edge in these close football games.
Jay, you stated many times your players are too. You have a deep belief in what this team can do, a deep belief in the physical capabilities, the talent on the team. You a little flustered, maybe frustrated it doesn't always translate on Saturdays?
No, you coach long enough and you work with teenagers. It's very difficult to climb inside their heads and to understand how they're going to respond in different situations. And some things you just can't mimic in practice. We try to tell them what's going to happen. We try to get them ready for these things, And we've been through this many times before. You'll go rolling along on offense and kind of have your way with things, and people are going to change. They're going to adjust. They're going to make you adjust. And so when you're a young quarterback, you don't always understand that, until it happens to you. And we knew it was going to happen for Braden. We knew that he was going to have to see some coverage, and people were going to play more zone, and he was going to have to adjust to that. And he just didn't adjust to it very well. And so it's a great learning experience for him, and he should be better for it next time. And we went through it with Carson. And it was about that time of the year where we're going to start to see something different. This is a good league. There's good coaches in this league. There's good players, and everybody wants to win. So we have to anticipate that and be able to adjust. And I think he'll handle it much better next time.
What are the steps that you take during the week, or you want your team to take during the week, to take all that physical talent and have it show on Saturdays more consistently?
You just got to be ready to pour it out on the line every Saturday, and that's easy to say. But as you go through the season, you have to prepare, and you have to do a good job of preparing. But also you got to prepare to pour it out on the line. That was a physical game Saturday night. You could say what you want. Both teams played very hard and very physical. And a lot of guys put a lot on the line out there. And along with that physicality, you got to play smart. And we had some players do that, and we had some players not. And the other thing I told our kids was, as you move through the season, you're going to have parts of your team that maybe aren't playing great some nights. You got to be able to overcome it with other parts. And we have enough veteran players that have played that can pick up the slack when we need that. And that's what a team is. And so, we're not always going to play great on defense. We're not always going to play great on offense. But we have to be able to pick each other up when we need that shot in the arm. And we had our chances Saturday in the second half. It was a tie ball game at halftime. We didn't come out very strong in the third quarter, but we had a chance at the end of the third and the fourth to come back and score and make it a one-score game and get a turnover and tie it up. So we're good enough to do that, and we just have to learn that when we have those situations that we need to respond.
So it's more of a mental thing, you think?
Yeah, it's experience. It's a lot of things. It's confidence. It's experience. It's being able to make adjustments. All of those things come into play.
Defensively, you guys have a lot of sacks, force a decent amount of turnovers, but obviously, like you said, big plays. What does it take to make it a little bit less, boom and bust defensively? Yeah,
I think our guys got to settle down, and I think our guys got to just play with technique. And defense is about trusting your teammates and being in position to play, and not giving up your positions. And we played some good offensive teams. I got to give some of these teams credit we've played. But we also, we're capable of playing much better defensively. And I don't think there's any question about that. The big plays are what we got to eliminate. We had, I track 20-yard gains, and we had four offensive plays that were 20 yards or more, and I included the interception return on that and the punt return. So, and they had 10, and that's just way too many. And it all happened after the first quarter. So we didn't respond very well when we needed to as a team, and we got to eliminate the explosive plays, both in run and pass. We're going to play a Boise team that likes to be balanced. They have a good running game. We have to do a good job of taking away those explosive plays in the run and the pass.
Jack kind of said a similar thing after a game about kind of not being tied together, more individualistic. Is that guys not trusting each other, guys almost trying to do too much?
Yeah, I just think we're going through a spurt, and we need to just get it corrected. I think our kids have played good defense. They know that they can, and it's just going back and doing the things that we need to do to be more detailed. And so, I know Coach Banks will work hard with that, and we have good experienced players that have played good defense here, and we need them to really take control and get guys to play together.
When you look at a week like this, you obviously want to bounce back. Easier said than done. What's the hard part to getting the attitude, the mind in the right place to do so.
No, we already started. I mean, we've turned the page on last weekend, and we're going to work, and I don't know. Sometimes there's different philosophies to things, but I mean, I reminded our kids about all the good we've accomplished. I mean, we're the number one passing team in the conference. We were leading the league in sacks. We got the best punt returner in the conference, and our punter is, I think, second in the league in net punting and doing an outstanding job. We've got a lot of good, and so we got to build on that, and we got to go out and compete. I mean, it's one game at a time. I mean, I said it early in the season. I mean, every game is going to be like last weekend as far as the competitiveness of it. Everybody can score. We're good enough to win, and we're good enough to fall short. I mean, that's about where we are, and that's I kind of, I'm sitting there Saturday night. I mean, like we're like a club fighter that fights every Saturday night in a smoky room, and you just got to go fight, and you got to go play, and you kind of compete, and you got to learn from the things that you didn't do well, and you got to try to not make the same mistakes, and we're very capable of correcting the things that we've had issues with and playing much better football.
Over the course of your career, has there ever been a theme for defenses that you've had that maybe if they're prone to giving up explosive plays, like obviously the theme has been this year for you guys, has there been a theme for defenses, and how do you go about maybe fixing that?
Yeah, I mean, there's themes for different teams, and I trust our kids. I think we have good players, and so I know that what we're doing is correctable, and I trust our coaches, and so we've got to get our eyes in the right place. We got to stop trying to do things that, trying to do somebody else's job, and our guys got to do their job, and that's really that simple. Every defense is designed for 11 guys to do their job. And when we have big plays, it's because somebody doesn't do it. And so, we got to quit taking turns doing that, and we got to keep the ball in front of us and tackle them and get it down. And I think we do when we're playing really good. We get to third down and we get them stopped. That's the biggest thing we do, and make them punt the ball back to our offense. And so, really. I really feel confident that we can get that corrected, and I feel like our kids can rally and play better. So, that's our job as coaches to get them to do that, and we're excited to come home and play Boise.
Boise obviously had a similar game this past weekend where they had to make I think they were down 20 at some point, and they had to make a pretty big comeback. As you watch them play, do you get a sense that they're maybe finding their groove now, because you mentioned they've had a difficult schedule to start the season and haven't gotten going yet.
Their personality as a team the last couple of years has been that they want to be balanced. They want to run the football. They don't take as many chances as the old Boise teams used to take, and they're not as creative as the old Boise teams were, but they play good, solid defense, and they try not to make mistakes. And so, we gotta play error free. A couple of areas. I mean, we have to start getting the turnover thing turned in the other way. That's really critical for us. And so, we got to take care of the ball on offense. We got to play good run defense this week. We really do. It's going to be important. And we've got to play great on special teams, and we've got to find edges and plays that can help us get the edge on these guys. And so it's the typical Boise game, I've been on the side of teams that have come up short against Boise, and I've been on teams that have beaten Boise, and the way you beat them is you just have a group of guys that make their mind up that they want to go win. It's really that simple. And so we got to beat that team this week.
How are Tori and Mo doing?
Tori and Mo are both banged up a little bit, and we got a bunch of guys that are banged up. It was a really physical weekend. I'm hoping that both of those guys will be available for the weekend, though.
How much, obviously Tori going out is going to affect the offense a lot. How much did, and I guess, is it a learning lesson in some ways, especially for those young guys of being ready and
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of guys that are capable of making plays, and when you lose a player of Torrey's caliber, it's going to look different. But we got a lot of guys, and some of our younger guys got to be prepared to step up. I was disappointed in the way some of the guys stepped up on Saturday, and they got their opportunity. And we talk about it all the time. You got to be ready when your number's called, and so we expect Lewis Brown and Justice Ross Simmons. Justice been banged up a little bit too. But we really like Jamari Person as a young guy. Those guys got to pick up the slack when Torrey's not in there, and this is going to happen the rest of the year. We're going to have guys that can't play for one reason or another, and we've got to step up. I mean, injuries are part of football, and we're not going to use that as an excuse why we can't be productive.
You mentioned both quarterbacks that they've been playing, and especially last week they've used both. It looked like Talon maybe took the reins at the end there, and he's obviously a big play waiting to happen. How important is it going to be just to early in the game, especially early downs, like you mentioned, you guys struggled on first down defensively this past weekend, just kind of getting him out of rhythm, whether it's him running or throwing?
Yeah, he's a dual threat guy, and we have to do a good job on that. I think we just got to play good, sound defense and get off the field on third down and not give up explosive plays. And obviously we want to make Boise work for whatever they get down the field, but that's what we need to get back to. And we give people problems on third down, with our blitz package and our cheetah packages, and we got to just force teams to get in those situations so our pass rush can be effective.
You did say you're going to continue to give young guys chances. TJ started the last 2 weeks. What did you see from him that led him to earning that position for you?
He's a really athletic kid, and he's a very confident kid. And him and Jalen Gardner both played quite a bit. Boom Jock played on defense. And, we've played a lot of tempo teams. So, it's just guys get gassed, guys get tired. And so we're trying to play more of those young guys. But TJ played really well, had a big interception in the game. He learned some things throughout the game as well. But I anticipate him getting more time and just playing better and better. We want to use him on special teams as well.
What did it tell you about those young guys, though, that like when they weren't playing a lot early, they still stuck with it in practice to keep earning a shot instead of going, well, this is just not my year?
Yeah, we told those guys that, we played some big teams early, and, they might not have been ready for those games early in the season, but their time is coming. And we made the decision, about halfway through the non-conference to play those freshmen. And I anticipate some more playing, as the year goes on. And so, but we're really happy with Jalen Gardner and TJ and Boom Jock defensively, and Kennedy McDowell. All four of those kids have played significant reps, and, they're going to play more down the stretch.
You did mention tempo, and a couple times this year and this past week, your defense got caught making switches, not being ready. What do you do to kind of correct that?
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. I mean, we played enough tempo teams to where we shouldn't have subbed there. That was a mistake on our staff's part, and we can't do that. We practice it all the time. We do it on offense. That's something that we can't get caught doing in a game like that.
Coach, despite underperforming offensively this past weekend, the offensive line only gave up 1 sack. How important is it for them to have a similar performance versus Boise?
Well, it's important every week for them to do that. I mean, our offensive line's done a good job this year protecting the quarterback. Our guys really haven't gotten hit, knocked on wood, and even that last sack really wasn't, their fault. Braden's got to push up and get rid of the football. But it's important every week. That's an area that we've really improved on. It's one of our strongest statistical areas right now is minus yardage plays. We're not giving up sacks. We're not giving up minus yardage plays on offense. And we're one of the top teams in a conference of making the other team have them on defense. I mean, we had 6 sacks last weekend defensively. And so, we just got to keep pushing that area of the game and really continue to improve in it. But I'm proud of our offensive line right now. They're doing a good job of protecting the quarterback.
Against a team like Boise State, how important is it not only to clean up some of the things on defense, like you said, but also to be able to do it for a full 60 minutes?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, we got to play good defense this week. It's important. You know, we got to play good defense against this team. It's a quality team. They can score, they can run, and they can pass. And it's important that we shore up some of the things we had last week and continue to improve on them for sure.
Even with some injuries, how do you feel about the running game the last couple of weeks?
You know, our running game I thought was pretty good Saturday night. You know, we had some big runs. Van had a big run in the red zone, and so did Kobe. And, we're never going to set rushing records. That's just not what we do. But we want to run the ball effectively. And like I said, I think it's going to continue to get better as we go through the year. And so, Van Shield, I'm so proud of Van, the way he played Saturday night as a walk-on. Avery's still banged up. Kobe was banged up last week, kind of limited practice. We're going to have to probably play KJ Edwards a little bit, and, we're going to get Damian back this week. Hopefully he can play. But I expect our running game to improve as we go through the conference season.
Thanks.